Although the wars in the former Yugoslavia didn't start until 1991, it is important to examine the region's past to be able to understand what led to the events of the 1990s. Yugoslavia was formed after World War I when Croatian, Bosnian, and Slovenian territories that were previously part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire united with the Serbian Kingdom. It consisted of 6 republics: Croatia, Serbia, Macedonia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, and Slovenia, with Serbia containing 2 autonomous provinces, Kosovo and Vojvodina. The new country contained a mix of religions and ethnic groups, with the main religions being Orthodox Christianity, Islam, and Catholicism. While under Nazi occupation during World War II, Yugoslavia was broken up and an independent Nazi-allied state was created, but the country was unified again after World War II by communist leader Josip Tito. Although they were a communist country, Yugoslavia broke away from the Soviet sphere of influence in 1948 and adopted a more decentralized and less repressive form of government compared to other Eastern European countries of the time. After Tito's death in 1980, Yugoslavia faced a period of political and economic crisis which lasted from the late 1980s to the early 1990s. During this time, the central government was weakened and feelings of militant nationalism grew. Political leaders used nationalism to gain legitimacy, break apart the common Yugoslav identity, and fuel mistrust and fear between ethnic groups. The political instability in Yugoslavia, combined with the emerging nationalism, allowed Serbian President Slobodan Milosevic to come to power in 1987. Milosevic immediately removed Kosovo and Vojvodina's constitutionally guaranteed autonomy by forcing local leadership to resign in favor of his preferred candidates, and by mid-1989, Kosovo and Vojvodina were integrated into Serbia. The next year, elections held in Slovenia and Croatia gave non-communist parties control of the state legislatures and governments. Slovenia and Croatia began working to transform Yugoslavia from a federal state to a confederation. Inter-republic relations within Yugoslavia spiraled out of control as Slovenia and Croatia accused Serbia of dominating the country's government, finances, and military, and Serbia accused the two of separatism. A referendum in Serbia in December 1990 supported full independence from Yugoslavia, as did one in Croatia in May 1991. Croatia and Serbia both declared full independence on June 25th of that same year. The Yugoslav army, or the JNA, tried to intervene in Slovenia, but withdrew in 10 days. This is known as the 10-Day War. In Croatia, the Croatian Serbs rebelled with the help of the JNA in Serbia, declaring nearly one-third of Croatia's territory an independent Serbian state. Croats and non-Serbs were expelled from the territory in a campaign of ethnic cleansing. Despite a UN-monitored ceasefire put into place in 1992, Croatian leaders were determined to reassert authority over their territories. In summer 1995, the Croatian military undertook offensives to regain all but a small piece of their territory, which is known as Eastern Slavonia. The military actions caused tens of thousands of Serbs to flee the Croatian advances to Serbian-held areas of Bosnia-Herzegovina and to Serbia in a mass exodus. By fall of 1995, the war was essentially over, with Croatia eventually regaining all of its territory following a peaceful transfer of Eastern Slavonia back to Croatia in 1998. The war in Croatia ultimately resulted in tens of thousands dead and hundreds of thousands displaced. The conflict was most deadly in Bosnia-Herzegovina because the country's strategic location made it subject to attempts from both Serbia and Croatia to take over large parts of its territory. In 1991, Croatian and Serbian leaders had a meeting where they decided to divide up Bosnia-Herzegovina between the two of them, only leaving a small part of the territory for the area's Muslim population. After over 60% of Bosnians voted for independence in March 1992, Bosnian Serbs, with the support of the JNA in Serbia, rebelled and declared territories under their control an independent Serbian republic within Bosnia-Herzegovina. Bosnian Croats soon followed, declaring their own republic with the support of Croatia. Approximately 100,000 people were killed in the following conflicts, and more than 2 million people, which is more than half of the Bosnian population, were forced to flee from their homes. Terrible acts and even war crimes were committed by all three groups, Bosnians, Serbs, and Croats. Over 35,000 Bosnian women were systematically raped. All three crowds set up detention camps to hold civilians, and the worst atrocity of the conflict occurred in the summer of 1995 when the Bosnian town of Srebrenica was attacked by Bosnian Serbs. This resulted in more than 8,000 Bosnian women and boys being executed in an act of genocide by Serbian forces, and the town's women and children also declared independence in September 1991. A U.S. peacekeeping and monitoring force was dispatched to their border with Serbia to monitor progress, and Macedonia was admitted to the UN 2 years later. Although the country managed to remain conflict-free throughout the Yugoslav wars during the 1990s, the country saw some conflict in 2001 when the Albanian National Liberation Army clashed with the Republic while trying to gain independence for the Albanian populated parts of the country. The conflict was ended with a peace deal, entailing the demilitarization of the NLA, an agreement of power sharing, and the deployment of a NATO monitoring force. In Kosovo, the Albanian population wanted independence from Serbia. In 1998, the Kosovo Liberation Army, or KLA, came out in open rebellion of Serbian rule. In an attempt to end the uprising, Serbian forces heavily targeted civilians, forcing many Kosovo Albanians to flee. After attempting peace talks to end the conflict, NATO carried out a 78-day-long airstrike against targets in Kosovo and Serbia, which resulted in Serbian forces intensifying their persecution of the Kosovo Albanian citizens. Serbian President Slobodan Milosevic ultimately agreed to withdraw Serbian troops from Kosovo, and in June 1999, Serbia agreed to allow international administration of the province. Kosovo finally gained independence in 2008. Although the Yugoslav wars resulted in the formation of 7 new countries, they also caused a mass migration of people escaping conflict, thousands of dead, general destruction of the countries where the wars took place, and numerous trials at the ICC for war criminals. Although the wars in the former Yugoslavia didn't